Every new month is a gate you cannot see but can feel, the hush before dawn, the thin place where time inhales. Step through casually and the month will shape you, step through consciously and you will shape the month. In the first 3 days, currents are set. Patterns choose their grooves. If fear, bitterness, and scattered thoughts ride with you, they seed replicas of themselves in your work, your home, your sleep. But if you cross the threshold carrying salt to purify, honey to sweeten, oil to consecrate, and bay leaves to burn away harm, you do not stumble into fate, you steward it. This is not superstition, it is alignment with a law older than language, as the seed, so the harvest. What you imprint at the beginning reverberates in the field of your days. Your enemies, some with faces, most without, prefer you to forget this. They send arrows through dreams, fog into finances, quarrels through whispers, and discouragement at just the moment you were meant to begin. Yet hidden wisdom belongs to those who rise early at the gate. When you sprinkle salt, you raise a boundary in the realm of vibration, a ring where decay cannot cling. When you anoint with oil, you crown your intention. When you kindle fire on a bay leaf, you instruct smoke to carry your decree where hands cannot. Joined with prayer and clear declaration, these are not props but instruments, chi given form, faith given gesture. Consider this, patterns rule months because no one stands at the door to tell them otherwise. Delay repeats because it was never dismissed. Disappointment returns because it was never unseated. But a person who greets the month like a guardian changes the script. They say, not this time. Not this house. Not this name. Salt has always meant covenant, honesty against rot. Honey with 7 cloves is sweetness armed, favor that will not dilute in the heat of trial. Oil is the mark of appointment, a seal that says, this ground is spoken for. Bay leaves, ancient symbols of victory, become embers that eat the husks of curses. Together they speak a language the unseen understands. Picture it now. You at the threshold, shoulder squared to the morning, saying with quiet thunder, this home belongs to the Most High. No curse enters, only gifts arrive. You lift your hands and feel a warmth spread across your palms, prana stirred by purpose. You touch your brow with oil and notice your thoughts gather into a single, luminous line. The old traps, gossip, sudden lack, the ambush of fatigue, look for you and cannot find you, because you have already taken the high ground. 3 days is not a lot of time, but creation loves the number 3, beginning, middle, completion, body, mind, spirit, past, present, future healed at a single door. Understand this well. These first 3 days are proactive warfare, not reactive panic. Day 1 lays foundation and refuses entry to chaos. Day 2 raises a witness that speaks when you are asleep. Day 3 returns what was sent and installs peace where fear once sat. Those who practice this do not become lucky, they become aligned. They report favor they did not chase, opportunities that seem to wait for their yes, and a steadiness in the rooms where arguments used to bloom. This is the invitation before you, to walk through the month's gate awake, anointed, and unafraid. Let us begin. On the first day of the month, you are not merely waking into routine, you are standing at the threshold of your destiny. The ancients taught that the doorway of a house is the mouth of its spirit. What passes through it carries resonance into every chamber. This is why your first act is to cleanse, seal, and claim it. Gather your instruments, salt, honey with 7 cloves, oil that consecrates, and a small piece of paper. These are not trinkets but extensions of your will, anchors for your intention in the subtle world. Begin at the door. Salt in hand, sprinkle it across the threshold as you speak aloud, this boundary is sealed. No curse may cross. No spirit of confusion may enter. Only blessing, only peace, only favor. Salt's essence is incorruptibility. It resists decay, and in the language of vibration, it crystallizes purity around you. As each grain falls, envision arrows dissolving into harmless dust, plans of sabotage breaking before they ever touch you. Feel the floor under your feet grow steady, as though even the ground agrees with your decree. Next, take the honey with cloves. Honey is sweetness, attraction, continuity. Cloves are fire, protection, resistance against bitterness. Open the jar, scoop a little, and place a touch upon the lintel of your doorway. Say, where there was sorrow, sweetness now reigns. Where there was rejection, favor shall find me. Where there was lack, abundance flows. As your finger presses honey above your head, imagine streams of golden light dripping invisibly over your home, saturating every corner with fragrance the enemy cannot endure. Remember, bees are nature's alchemists, turning nectar into something that endures. So too you alchemize rejection into favor. Now turn to your paper. On it, write the names of what has shadowed you: fear, delay, sickness, poverty, betrayal. Fold it inward toward yourself, claiming them as captives under divine order. Place this folded paper beneath your bowl of salt at the door, a prison that locks them in stasis. By this act you announce, these forces are neutralized, they rise no more. It is not the ink but the alignment of word, act, and spirit that binds them. Then, with oil in your palm, mark yourself: forehead, for clarity and wisdom; hands, for blessed labor; doorframe, for protection. Whisper, I am sealed. My house is sealed. My month is sealed. Oil is consecration, kings were crowned with it, prophets carried it, lamps burned with it. When you apply it, you signal to heaven and earth alike that your life is not casual ground but sacred territory. When salt is scattered, honey placed, paper sealed, and oil applied, stand tall and declare 3 times with rising conviction, this home is a fortress. Every curse ends here. Only joy, only life, only prosperity may enter. Repetition engraves the decree into the ether. As the words echo, imagine unseen walls of light knitting tighter around your threshold. Pause to sense it, a peace that hums, an invisible army standing guard. Do not dismiss these gestures as small. Spirit responds to small things magnified by faith. A grain of salt is tiny, yet it changes an entire meal. A drop of oil can carry fragrance across a house. So too your first day's ritual, though simple, carries immeasurable weight. Close your eyes. Speak blessings over your life, your health, your family, your work. Thank the source for scattering enemies before they even rose. Stay in that vibration until you feel a shift, calm spreading like dawn across your chest. That peace is confirmation, the unseen has accepted your offering. Before sleep, return once more to the door. Touch the lintel where the honey rests. Speak aloud, this house is sealed. My month is sealed. My destiny is sealed. Then rest without fear, knowing you have built a fortress no adversary can trespass. This is the power of the first day, it lays the stone upon which every other victory will stand. The second day does not begin where the first ended, it ascends higher. Yesterday, you built a wall of protection, today, you kindle a flame that speaks on your behalf. If day 1 was defense, day 2 is declaration. Here, you raise an altar of testimony so that even when you sleep, your voice continues to echo in the unseen. Remember, light has always been the sworn enemy of darkness. One spark shifts an entire room. Today, you become that spark. Light a white candle in a safe place. As its flame rises, see it as the light of heaven kindled in your home. Speak boldly, as this fire burns, so does divine light cover my household. No shadow, no curse, no spirit of darkness can remain. Wax and wick may look ordinary, but fire is eternal, a living witness that transforms everything it touches. As the flame dances, imagine every hidden plot against you unraveling in its heat. Take a bay leaf into your hand. Bay leaves, sacred to victors and poets alike, are carriers of decree. Hold it near your heart and whisper into it the burdens you wish to see dissolved, delays, betrayals, illnesses, hidden enemies. Your breath carries your intent into its fibers. Then set it alight in a fireproof bowl. watch as flame consumes it and smoke ascends. Declare, every weapon formed against me collapses. Every curse is silenced. Every plot dissolves into nothing. See the smoke curling upward, carrying your words like arrows to the higher realms. When the bay leaf is ash, gather the remains. Walk through your home in a clockwise circle, beginning at the front door. At each corner, sprinkle a pinch of the ashes, speaking, this corner is covered. No shadow may linger. No curse may dwell here. Only peace, prosperity, and favor remain. As you move, imagine sentinels of light anchoring themselves in each corner, forming a protective lattice that nothing malevolent can penetrate. By completing the circle, you weave a sacred boundary around your living space. Return to the candle. Dip a finger into your honey and clove mixture and touch it lightly to the corners of your wallet, your purse, your store of money. Declare aloud, my finances are preserved. My blessings are multiplied. My month is filled with increase. Honey attracts and sustains, cloves burn away what would sour it. Together, they shift your relationship with provision. No longer chasing, you begin attracting. No longer leaking, you begin preserving. Now, take another bay leaf. Upon it, write a single word, favor. Victory. Protection. Place this inside your sacred text, your Bible, prayer book, or journal of affirmations. Each time you open that book, the bay leaf will stand as a silent witness, reminding you of what has been spoken over your life. This is prophecy embodied in matter, an altar in miniature, carrying your decree day after day. Finally, stand before the candle with hands raised. Pray with fire in your voice, let every evil word against me be consumed. Let every scheme collapse into ash. Let my light burn brighter than the plans of my enemies. Feel the authority rising in your chest. Your words are not mere sound, they are vibration. And vibration rearranges matter. Speak as though creation itself is listening, because it is. Remain a moment in the glow of the flame. Notice the atmosphere shift, a serenity falls, not mere silence but triumph. That is the hush of enemies scattered, the resonance of angels encamped. Day 2 transforms your home into a sanctuary. It is no longer just walls and roof, it becomes a fortress lit by unseen fire. Do not forget, your tongue is the sharpest sword you carry. Today, every word you speak engraves itself in the structure of the month ahead. Speak weakness, and weakness multiplies. Speak victory, and doors swing open. On this day, your words marry the fire, and together they wage a war your enemies cannot endure. The third day is the day of completion, the seal that makes the circle whole. Without it, your work remains unfinished. With it, your month is marked by finality and dominion. If the first day was a gate and the second day an altar, then the third day is the hammer that breaks chains and sends shards back to the sender. This is not just closure, it is reversal. Every arrow loosed against you is returned. Every curse spoken collapses under its own weight. Rise early, at the hour when night bows to dawn. Stand at the threshold with cupped hands over your mouth and whisper 3 times, back to sender. Return 7-fold. Be silenced forever. With each repetition, envision arrows spinning in midair, reversing their course, racing back into the shadows from which they were released. Your breath becomes wind, your decree becomes law. In that moment, you are not begging, you are commanding. Retrieve the paper you wrote on day 1, the list of curses and weights you folded and sealed. Place it in a fireproof bowl and set it aflame. Watch as flame devours ink and fiber alike, and declare, every curse written against me is destroyed. Every delay is burned. Every chain is reduced to ash. Let it burn until not even a fragment remains. Ashes are proof of victory, they testify that what once bound you has lost substance. Take the ashes in your hand. You may bury them in clean soil, locking them away beneath the earth where they can never rise again. Or scatter them in flowing water, sending them far, never to return. Both acts carry force, one imprisons, the other banishes. Choose what is possible, but speak as you do, this burden is gone. These attacks are dissolved. They shall not return to my life. Know that your action echoes in realms unseen. The curses that once whispered over you now stand mute. Return to your home and anoint yourself again. Oil on the forehead, wisdom and clarity. Oil on the hands, work that prospers. Oil on the feet, steps that align with destiny. Speak with conviction, my mind is protected. My hands are blessed. My steps are ordered. This act does not repeat day one, it completes it. The seal is stronger because it has been renewed 3 times. Completion is not redundancy, it is authority. Now lift your voice and speak replacements. It is not enough to cast out, you must also fill. Declare, where there was delay, I walk in speed. Where there was rejection, I rise in favor. Where there was lack, I overflow in abundance. Where there was bondage, I walk in freedom. Speak each line until you feel it root inside you. The unseen is like soil, when you plant declarations with intention, the harvest is inevitable. Do not neglect your household. Speak over your family, your finances, your health, your future. Touch your walls, your table, your bed, and claim them under the covering. The blessing must spread beyond you, because what is unsealed in your environment can still leak into your life. Seal it all. Cover it all. Envelop it all in the decree of victory. End the day not with weariness, but with praise. Clap your hands, sing aloud, or list 10 statements of gratitude. Say, thank you for scattering my enemies. Thank you for opening doors. Thank you for peace in my home. Thank you for abundance flowing. Praise is not polite, it is war. Darkness flees from joy, because joy is fire it cannot quench. When you praise, you crown the ritual with triumph. Go to bed on the 3rd night knowing you have not just performed actions, but altered atmosphere. Your month is no longer a question mark, it is a decree. The gates are sealed, the enemies are scattered, the blessing is enthroned. The work is finished, and you are free. By the time the 3 days close, something begins to awaken within you. You realize this was never just about salt, honey, oil, or bay leaves. These were vessels of a deeper truth, that authority rests in your words, your will, your alignment. The ritual was the doorway, but the awakening is the room you now stand in. Every new month is no longer a date on the calendar, it is a gate of time, and you have learned how to rise at that gate as a guardian, not a passerby. Too many wander into months carelessly, saying, Happy New Month, as though a greeting alone could shield them. Yet their finances dry, relationships strain, sickness appears, and delays stack silently against them. They mistake patterns for coincidence. But you, having walked these 3 days, now see clearly, those were ambushes waiting at the gate. And you have broken the pattern. You no longer stumble into the month, you command it. Reflection begins here. Think of athletes who train daily, not because each stretch is dramatic, but because repetition forges strength. In the same way, your spirit has been trained. Each grain of salt was a brick in your fortress. Each drop of oil was a seal of appointment. Each bay leaf burned was a decree turned into smoke. Each word spoken was a sword that cut through the unseen. These small acts, done with faith, became pillars that no enemy can overturn. And with awakening comes responsibility. You now know that no one can fight your battles with the same fire that you can. Others may pray for you, but the heavens are tuned most sharply to your voice, your decree, your alignment. You are the commander at your own gates. The discipline of these 3 days turns you from one who reacts to one who reigns. It calls you to vigilance, to recognize the shift in atmosphere, to sense when peace rests on your home, to notice when resistance rises, and to answer swiftly with decree and praise. You also begin to see the hidden meanings behind the tools. Salt was used in covenants because it never decays, so too does your decree endure. Oil crowned kings, marking them chosen, so too are you sealed as one carrying authority. Honey draws sweetness even in harsh seasons, showing that favor is not fragile. Fire devours what cannot survive light, reminding you that curses wither when confronted by truth. Nothing you touched in these days was random. Each action carried a lineage of meaning, woven through centuries of wisdom, now alive in your hands. With awakening also comes humility. For though you wielded salt, oil, honey, and flame, the power behind them was not of your making. It was divine authority, the vibration of heaven responding to faith. Without that higher current, these would remain mere objects. With it, they became instruments. This awareness keeps pride at bay, reminding you that victory is not self-made but co-created, with heaven as your ally, your faith as the key. Notice also how your mindset shifts. You no longer approach the month with dread or hesitation. Instead, you carry yourself with calm boldness. Where others feel uncertainty, you sense stability. Where others expect delay, you anticipate acceleration. Your words grow sharper, your steps more deliberate. Strength replaces weakness, and confidence replaces worry. The awakening is not just defense against enemies, it is the rebirth of your posture in life. The greatest lesson is this: your life is not casual. Time is not neutral. Every new month is another ascent, another chance to live freer, stronger, and more awake. Through these 3 days, you have chosen not to drift but to direct, not to surrender but to stand. You are no longer a victim of hidden currents, you are the one who stirs the waters. This is the priceless awakening the ritual has given you. Now that the awakening has stirred within you, the work shifts from inner realization to outward command. Awakening without action fades, but awakening sealed with declaration becomes unshakable. This is the stage of activation, the moment when your words thunder across the unseen, leaving no cracks, no silence, no opening for schemes to creep back. Here, your voice is not petition, it is decree. You do not ask for protection, you enforce it. Each night of the 3-day cycle, begin with praise. Speak 10 clear statements of gratitude. I thank you for my life. I thank you for my protection. I thank you for my family. I thank you for open doors. I thank you for peace in my home. I thank you for scattered enemies. I thank you for strength rising. I thank you for healing flowing. I thank you for wisdom to walk upright. I thank you for angelic guards encamped around me. These 10 praises are not routine, they are fragrance. They ascend like incense, altering the atmosphere. Darkness cannot linger where thanksgiving flows. Praise confuses your enemies because while they expect fear, they hear joy. It disarms curses because joy creates a fortress that sorrow cannot breach. From praise, step into warfare declarations. Speak as one giving orders to armies. In this month, I will not be delayed. In this month, I will not be defeated. In this month, shame cannot bind me. In this month, fear cannot silence me. In this month, every curse is shattered. In this month, every hidden enemy is exposed. In this month, every trap collapses. In this month, every arrow returns to sender. In this month, blessings overflow. In this month, victory is mine. Let each statement strike like a hammer. Do not whisper them timidly, let them resonate from your chest. Words carry vibration, and vibration rearranges reality. When you decree with certainty, creation bends to agree. As you reach the height of declaration, anoint yourself again. Oil on the forehead, your thoughts are covered. Oil on the palms, your work is blessed. Oil on your feet, your steps are ordered. Then, stretch your anointed hands toward the door and proclaim, this gate is sealed with fire. No evil passes here. No curse survives here. No enemy enters here. Wave your hands as though pushing unseen forces backward, enforcing your boundary with authority. Now clap your hands 3 times after each strong declaration. Clapping is not random, it is striking blows in the spirit. Each clap is a hammer against invisible chains. Then stomp your feet upon the ground 3 times and say, I stand in dominion. I crush serpents and scorpions. I walk in victory. This act is more than symbolism, it is embodiment. Your body becomes the vessel of the decree, grounding your authority into earth and air alike. Finally, seal your session with the name above all names. Speak slowly, each syllable resonant, I seal this month with victory. Pause after the words. Feel them settle, heavy and final, like a stamp pressed upon the scroll of your destiny. This seal cannot be reversed, for it is written with faith, fire, and authority. When you lay down after such prayers, you do not drift into sleep uncertain. You rest as one inside a fortress. Angels guard the perimeter. Fire circles your gates. Your month is marked. No weapon formed against you can prosper because you have already authored the script of your days. Enemies sought to write curses into your story, but your words have burned their pages. You sleep in triumph, wrapped not in fear but in assurance. This is the power of activation. Now that you have sealed your month with fire and decree, understand this truth: the ritual is not a one-time act but a discipline. Each new month arrives with its own battles and ambushes, but consistency is the weapon that keeps you untouchable. The enemy waits for gaps, moments when you grow weary, moments when you think, I will skip it this time. That is when ambushes form. But when you rise faithfully every month at the gate of time, you deny them that opening. You become a fortress renewed again and again, impossible to penetrate. This is why the 3-day ritual must become rhythm, not exception. Every beginning of the month, commit again. Sprinkle the salt, anoint with oil, burn the bay leaf, place the honey. Speak the words, clap your hands, stomp your feet. Not out of superstition, but out of covenant. Repetition engraves patterns not only in your home, but in your spirit. Just as water wears down stone by persistence, your consistency carves deep channels of protection around your life. Soon, enemies realize, every time they rise against walls already built. Their schemes collapse before they even unfold. Do not keep this discipline only for yourself. Share it with those you love. Too many of your family, friends, neighbors walk into new months unprepared, unaware that their battles began at the gates of time. They suffer delays, quarrels, or sudden losses and do not see the root. You have seen. Teach them. Tell them, do this for 3 days, and watch your month transform. Become a light to those still stumbling in darkness. Imagine the strength of a household united in these actions. One sprinkles salt at the door, another anoints with oil, another declares with fire, another burns the bay leaf. That unity multiplies the force. It creates a shield not just around one person but around an entire family. A house that prays and acts together becomes a citadel. Enemies may circle, but they find no entry. The sweetness of honey flows through conversations, the strength of oil rests on every task, the fire of bay leaves repels every shadow. Such a home cannot be shaken. Go beyond your walls. Speak to friends, to those whose eyes reveal silent battles they have not confessed. Many are tormented by witchcraft, envy, curses, and hidden resistance yet know no remedy. By teaching them this 3-day ritual, you place weapons in their hands. You extend victory beyond yourself. You become not only a guardian of your household, but an agent of breakthrough for your community. What begins as protection becomes movement. And when transformation arrives, when curses break, when doors open, when peace fills the rooms where strife once grew, testify. Do not keep silent. Share what you have seen. Your testimony becomes a seed of faith in the lives of others. It tells them, this works. This is real. You too can rise at the gate of time. Testimony multiplies breakthrough, for each story opens the door wider for the next. Your words of victory ignite courage in those who thought their battles unwinnable. Consistency, sharing, and testimony, these are the next steps after activation. They keep the flame burning. They extend the light. They weave your single act of warfare into a chain of victory stretching beyond you. This is how you not only defend your life but shift the atmosphere of every space you enter. Even after the 3 days are finished, the work is not abandoned. You must stay awake, because the unseen world is not static, it moves, watches, and tests. Strange dreams may appear, sudden resistance may rise, or unexpected quarrels may try to break your peace. Do not be surprised when these things surface. They are not signs of failure, but signs that your actions have disrupted the old order. When you sense such movements, return quickly to your declarations. Speak them aloud with conviction. This month is sealed. My gate is guarded. My victory cannot be overturned. Your words are reminders to the spirit realm that the decree still stands. Do not let weariness seduce you. The enemy's patience is long, they wait for the day you say, perhaps it is not necessary anymore. That is when they strike. But when you remain steady, month after month, you become untouchable. The repetition of discipline is your shield. Every month you rise at the gate, your fortress grows thicker, your light grows brighter, and your enemies learn that every attack against you collapses faster than the last. Carry this mindset beyond the ritual itself. Let it bleed into your daily life. At work, speak with the authority of one whose gates are sealed. In your business, carry the confidence of one already marked by favor. In your relationships, move with the peace of one whose home is encircled by light. The ritual was never meant to stay at the doorway, it was meant to train your spirit for every threshold you cross. From marketplace to prayer room, from conversation to decision, walk as one crowned with oil and armed with decree. Remember also that this discipline is not just protection, it is training. Each time you sprinkle salt, your spirit learns purity. Each time you touch honey, your heart learns sweetness. Each time you light fire, your will learns courage. Each time you anoint with oil, your mind learns consecration. Over time, these actions rewire you. You are not only driving away enemies, you are reshaping yourself into one who cannot be shaken. A warrior who knows both defense and song. A guardian who understands both silence and fire. This is why you must live as if the ritual never ends. The 3 days are the foundation, but the month is the building. The mindset must endure, my words carry weight. My actions shift atmospheres. My life is not ordinary. Walk in this awareness and you carry the vibration of victory everywhere you go. People will notice. They may not understand why, but they will sense a steadiness, a radiance, a strength around you. That is the evidence of gates sealed, enemies scattered, and destiny commanded. So do not grow weary, and do not grow casual. The unseen respects consistency. When you repeat the act faithfully, you write your name into the language of power. You are no longer tossed by hidden currents, you are the one directing them. The month bends because you have chosen to bend it. This is the responsibility of awakening, and also its gift, to know that destiny is not random, but authored by those who dare to rise at the gates of time. What you must also understand is that the ritual was never meant to be a secret kept only in your hands. Light is not given to be hidden. Share it, and you multiply its power. Speak of it to your children, so that they learn early that life is not left to chance. Teach your spouse, your siblings, your friends, so that unity builds a fortress around your family line. When many voices rise together at the beginning of a month, the vibration is magnified, and the enemy has no cracks through which to enter. Picture a family standing at the threshold, one sprinkling salt, one anointing with oil, one lifting praise, one burning the bay leaf. That house becomes a citadel. Shadows may circle, but the walls hold strong. Arguments dissolve before they can form, doors open where once there were only walls, and peace flows through conversations that used to break in anger. This is the fruit of unity under divine covering. Beyond your home, think of your community. How many walk into new months suffering battles they do not even see? Some wrestle with delays in money, others with confusion in their households, others with secret enemies at their work. They fight symptoms but never discern the root. You now hold the key. Speak to them. Tell them, do this for 3 days. Guard your gates. Claim your month. To those who listen, you will become a light in their darkness. And when breakthroughs come, do not be silent. Testify. Your testimony is not just gratitude, it is seed. When you speak of curses broken, of finances restored, of peace where there was turmoil, you prove that victory is possible. That proof awakens faith in others. What you declare publicly multiplies privately in their lives. Testimony becomes a river that carries breakthrough further than your own reach. Do not wait for grand miracles before you share. Speak of the small shifts too, the unexpected peace you felt, the sudden opportunity that arose, the quarrel that never erupted, the dream that brought clarity instead of confusion. These, too, are signs that the gates were guarded. Each word of testimony adds stone to the fortress, not just for you but for everyone who hears. This is how victory spreads. From one person to a household, from one household to a neighborhood, from one neighborhood to a city. What begins as a 3-day act at your own doorway becomes a movement that reshapes the atmosphere around you. You become not just a guardian of your own destiny, but a carrier of transformation for others. When others see the light in your eyes, the calm in your voice, the steady way you walk through challenges, they will ask, "What changed?" Do not hesitate to tell them, "I rise at the gate of every new month. I seal my home. I scatter my enemies. I walk into destiny awake." In sharing, you extend the circle of victory outward until darkness finds no place to stand. The ritual, then, is not the end. It is the beginning of a culture, of awareness, of discipline, of shared strength. You have learned to scatter enemies for yourself. Now teach others, and you scatter them for generations. Finally, understand that this practice is not only about protection, it is about destiny. Every new month is another chapter in the story of your life, another threshold where you can either drift or decide. By rising in the first 3 days, you choose not to drift. You seize authorship. You claim the pen from unseen hands that once tried to write curses into your days, and you write victory instead. This is why you must never walk blindly into a new month again. You know now that time is not empty, it carries battles and blessings alike. The one who enters unprepared is like a house with doors left open in the night. But the one who seals their gates, who declares with fire, who plants sweetness and purity at the threshold, that one is safe. That one commands their destiny. Carry this mindset wherever you go. Into your work, walk as though the month is already tilted in your favor. Into your relationships, speak with the calm assurance of one who has scattered enemies. Into your choices, move with clarity, knowing your path is protected. When challenges rise, you no longer tremble. You remember, my gates are sealed. My enemies are scattered. My month is marked. And with that remembrance, you walk through storms untouched. This discipline must become rhythm. 3 days of salt, honey, oil, fire, and decree at the start of every month is not superstition, it is strategy. Each repetition deepens the groove, engraves the pattern, trains your spirit. You become unshakable, not because trouble never comes, but because trouble finds no entrance. Month after month, consistency turns you from a fighter into a commander, from a survivor into a victor. And when you share this light, it multiplies. Households rise, communities awaken, patterns of bondage crumble. A movement forms, one where people do not drift but decide, do not suffer in silence but rise at the gates of time. Imagine an entire generation trained not to stumble into ambushes but to ambush the enemy first. That is the future hidden in your obedience to these 3 days. So, as the cycle completes, stand tall. Declare one final time, my gates are sealed. My enemies are scattered. My destiny is secured. Feel those words root in the marrow of your being. This is not empty speech, it is the seal of authority, the stamp upon your month. Walk forward with eyes open, voice strong, and spirit aligned. You are no longer casual with time. You are a guardian of gates, a commander of destiny, a warrior whose victory is certain. Rise at every new month. Repeat the 3 days faithfully. Scatter enemies, open doors, and walk boldly into favor. From now on, your life is not random, it is written in strength, sweetness, and fire.